Let's see what happens here. Looks like a closed Sicilian, unless white opts to play here. Okay, so he's going to play a closed Sicilian. So, black's basic strategy is eventually expand on the queen side. Now, sometimes black will fiend kettle this bishop, sometimes he will park it here. Okay, might be a little too early for that, but maybe he has visions of doing this and this. Yeah, okay, so this could become an annoying pin. What can white do about that? Well, first off, we want to evaluate if that's an annoying pin. If we just want to not do anything about it, or if we don't deal with it, we'll play h3. But that creates a weakness in white's position, a little weakness in white's position. So we could break the pin now with knight e2. Okay. That would do the trick. Let's see what white does. He's going to allow the pin. And he doesn't do the knight d4. I don't know. I like that for black. See, you can't play h3. The bishop is overworked. Oops, check.
Check.
And thank you very much for the free pawn. Okay. So what's white going to do? He has to suffer with this pin. He can't go here because that just drops the piece directly. So now, how does white break this pin? Well, he's got to redeploy this knight somewhere and chase him out. Okay, so I actually like this move here. Oh wait, we can't do that. We're dropping a pawn. Okay, so let's back this up further. Let's hold castling. Okay, now we're going to answer this with this. Now, let's see. So this way the e-pawn is safe. Black needs some development. Let's assume he does what he did in the game. Maybe he's trying to trade this off. We still can't break the pin, but we could play this move for what it's worth. Now it's true black can double white's pawns, but the point here is c3 is coming. Now let's see. Let's fiend kettle this bishop so it has a little better diagonal.
Check.
Now white has certain advantages here. One is the color of the squares the pawns are on. Okay, these center pawns, this part favors white because the black bishop bumps into him. Most of the rest of the pawns favor black. White does have potential to create some pressure on the e file. Black doesn't have an open file yet. So bishop g4 might be a good move. What does theory say on this? I don't know. I don't keep on this. I don't remember. I studied all this stuff 40 years ago, and I don't get into positions like this. So, okay, so now he wants to attack. Okay, well, that's sporting. Now, what does this do, though? This gives up control of this square, at least for now. So bishop g5 would be a good move. Let's see what he plays. Okay, he breaks the pin here. That makes sense too. This was a nuisance. Here's my idea here. My idea with this is that, I don't know, let's see. If you want to sack the exchange here, it's playable. Let's see, it takes. I can't take with the knight. But I don't know if black has enough here, especially with this bishop undeveloped. She's going to need to castle, move a pawn is 2, move a bishop is 3. The rook is 4 moves from getting to here. Well, white gets 4 moves too. Okay, and you'd be surprised what we can come up with in those 4 moves. Okay, so I can give you some ideas. So let's see. So what's going to happen now? You play Queen E1. Now here I might be tempted to just take and play this move. No, didn't want to do it. See, let's look at my idea. Takes. Now I get this, and I don't have to sack the exchange to do this. Now, here White's under a little bit of pressure. Let's see. So you get it. He could take with the pawn, but White has to play a little defense here. And I'm just picking some moves which, this stops this. It's interesting variation. We have to make sure that that this check is never painful. I mean, it isn't painful at all now because of the knight, but keep those things in mind. But castling is fine. What does White do? Now here, I think this is the wrong idea. Well, it might be the right idea. I think the reason I think it's the wrong idea is we want to complete our development before we move a piece twice. But Black should be able to just play E5 here, and his pawn is safe. But it does, and you can still do this at some point. Okay, that's a intriguing move. He's going to give up the exchange. Okay, so first question is, how much time did Black spend on that move? Well, he spent nearly 3 minutes. So one thing even though I'm talking about taking your time, you have almost 2 minutes a move on the average. I don't care if you play a bad move if you took your time, and you shouldn't either. Okay, because you're learning. I mean, the obvious thing is that White can go grab a rook, but does Black have enough? Let's see if White takes it. No, he doesn't take it. I think he could. Well, no, there's this here, but I think this is fine. Let's just take that. Okay, now, because I don't think Black has anything on the king side, but we'll look at that in a minute. What's happening here? Material seems to be even, but both sides have a wayward knight. Let's see. If White cuts the Black knight off with Queen D2, Black can cut the White knight off with this. It's kind of a funny dilemma here. Both sides need to move their bishop in order to capture that knight, and neither bishop can move. So the huge question is, can White find a way to get that knight out of trouble? Now, and can Black find a way to get this knight out of trouble? I'm looking at this move. I'm going to sacrifice a pawn. What am I trying to do here? I'm trying to get this bishop here and get this knight out of there. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, pawn takes, or move the knight. Now I get this in. And how do you control this square? Okay, now if I'm playing a tournament game, I play longer time controls. I'll either play 40-90. Was it 40-90 game 30 with a 30-second increment, or I'll play 40 moves in 2 hours, game in 60 with a 5-second delay. Those are the time controls I will play, because I need to take my time just like you do. Okay, so I'm not sure how Black gets this knight out of here. Let's see. I guess he can take this. We have to be careful. There's a pin here. But Black still has to move his pawn so that he can get his bishop out. Now, let's see. Let's put this here. Now I'm finding a way to get that knight out. See, through this positional pawn sacrifice, white has some chances here. Okay, so the alternative is move the knight. Where do you want to put it? Well, you go back here. White is just liable to play this, and I think he gets his knight out. Okay, so it looks like white had a win there. Am I wrong? I'll be the first to admit I could be. When I play a game, if I miscalculate, and my opponent is a good player, the 1,600 players are capable of beating me. I guess theoretically a 1,400 player is capable of beating me. Depends. It's just a little less likely the lower rated they go. But my point is that they're capable of finding, if there's a refutation to this plan, they're capable of finding it. Now here, black could come up here, right? Now it kind of watches this square. So there's still stuff to this, but again, how do you corral this knight? And white still has to work on this knight. So to me, this is what makes chess fun. This is a fun position. And then who knows? Maybe there's something down here. White has to give up that bishop, and if black is lucky, he'll find a way to come down here and mate. I mean, we have to see all this. If it helps, I have a friend whose peak rating was 2480, and I said, when you beat a 2400 and up, why did you win? And he said, they overlooked a tactic. So here, this tactic of trading the rooks, if you want to call it a tactic, has to be analyzed accurately. How much of this can you see? So let's back this up. And again, I'm against this, just against this move under general principle. I played a few variations over 5 minutes. It might take 30 minutes to figure this out. So my reply here would be, if I'm playing black, I'm just going to do this, unless there's a flaw with that, which there could be. This defends f7, and it may, this may very well be a viable threat and force white to do this. Okay, so let's see what happens. Now he goes back there and just allows him to take it. Amazing. Okay, so what's wrong with this? Now I mentioned in passing, I don't think there's anything down here.
Check.
We were able to take this, right? If this wasn't capturing this, black could be thinking about a checkmate. So maybe this is black's idea, is to lure that knight away from defending f3. This could be a very, very possible move, because I don't think there was anything. I don't think there was any. Oh no, there's nothing.
Check.
We just take it with the knight. Okay. That goes this way. Is that the right way? I don't know. I mean, my first look was knight f3 check. Let's look at knight f3 check. The one he didn't play. Now, if white has two legal moves here, move his king, and that costs him his queen, or take this. Now, white to play, what's he do? How does he save his king? Looks like he can't take the rook, and I don't see a way out here. It doesn't exist. So, but white did have a defense. This is the defense. Okay, now it stops here because we just take the queen. Okay, so what's black going to do here? He's given up a pawn for this position. Okay, so we went there. Now obviously we can't take, but black doesn't really have a threat here. It's like Dan Heisman, respected chess teacher, has his version of hope chess, and you're welcome to see what he means. My version of hope chess is I hope, I hope my opponent takes that bishop. I don't know, but
Check.
let's see. I don't know. His queen's loose too. You know, I'm trying to follow up with well, actually, I'm trying to follow up with taking this. So I don't know what I don't know. He shouldn't. Maybe he shouldn't allow this. We'll determine that in a moment. So he grabs the rook. So he didn't have to take. He didn't have to take this bishop. And it looks like white's going to come out of this just fine. He's going to be up the exchange and a pawn. While black is trying to generate an attack. And I could almost bet that white could even play here now. Let's see. And he comes back. Well, you know, there's an argument, that white has enough to win now. He doesn't need to keep the piece. I'm just saying I bet he could do this now. I don't think black has enough. Let's see. Take. This threatens a check. But when the king backs up, the queen is going to protect it. Okay? Let's see what actually transpired. So white's up the exchange. And now I'd be looking at a move like this. Okay, goes there. So white, pay attention here. These guys are crying, screaming at you. Get me in the game. I'll do wonderful things for you. I don't know. There was even a check here. But anyway, I guess he didn't want to hang this pawn. Now, one thing white could do is this. Okay, the point being, now this isn't forced, but you'll see if black takes this, open file triple pawns. If black takes this, well, you know, take our pick. Let's take this one. Now we're threatening to take this, trade queens, and beat you in the endgame.
Check.
So you check there. He comes back. Okay, now white could make, I don't know, could he consider a pin here, pinning that pawn? Gets the queen developed. Look at that. Now, I'm not saying I had the best move, but there's a point here. You have a 2,200 player saying queen g4, and you have a 1,459 player playing it. The point of this is, and I mentioned this in a number of videos, but not everybody watches every video or every broadcast. I don't care what your rating is, you're capable of playing the best moves, and you do. Okay, you play grandmaster moves, you do it all the time. Well, not all the time, but you do it a lot. Okay, how many tactics have you solved? White to play and win. Well, these were probably from a grandmaster game. The grandmaster solved it, or maybe he didn't, and they printed the tactic to show you what he could have done. So when I suggest a move, when I see someone do it, either we made the same blunder or you're unleashing your potential. Okay. Okay. So now breaks the pin, piles up on the pawn, and he says, "Well, you know what? I'm going to let you step into a pin. If you steal my pawn, your knight's going to be pinned." And he decides that he doesn't want to get in a pin. So black, that white queen is looking kind of shaky. Let's see, because we have a couple places to go. Haven't been able to use these yet, but I think you will. I just hide on G2 and I don't know, let's see, knight F3 with the idea of knight F6 and taking here. Let's see what happens. Knight F3 and white decides to give back the exchange. But here's the fun thing about it. Well, he didn't take it. See, this is excellent play by white. Why? Because by doing this, he breaks black's the he breaks the main force of black's attack, and he's still 3 pawns up. And look at white's time. He's taking it. Good job, white. And he just saves the rook. You want to give him another knight? No, they'll be down 3 pawns on a piece. Oh my goodness. Well, he's going to take it again. Now that is remarkable. Okay, well, black didn't learn the first time. Maybe he will learn now.
Check.
So he sacks that. I don't know. I think he could have taken with a king, but oh well. White is now ahead a piece and a rook, and guess what? They're the ones that haven't moved, and a pawn. And it looks like the game ended here. So white won this without moving his queen or his queen's bishop or his queen's rook. Okay, so I think both sides were wrong to allow these captures. Well, white didn't allow it. But let's see. Yeah, I just don't like this move. I think this is. Oops. Wait. Let's hold castling. Let's just do this and this. Now, does that mean white's going to win? No, the game is still even. It's just, they're just leaving the opening. They're not in the middle game yet. But black certainly isn't losing this by any means. Okay, you want to go here? I'm going to take that. Now, it'd probably be wrong to take this way because this could be painful. Okay, ouch. We need a little lateral defense on F2. I mean on H2. Oops. See, we can laterally defend in 4 different ways. Okay? But very interesting game. And, give you some pointers on how you can win games. But the knight G5 and knight D4, if I'm going to have that played against me, or even consider playing it, I'm going to have to spend a lot of clock time. I'm, in some respects, I'm like a TRS-80 or a Commodore 64. The older folks will know what those are. The younger ones, you need to look it up. I'm a TRS-80 competing against HB with 16 gigs of RAM. In other words, old slow computers from 40 years ago versus the young fast mind. That's why I can't play blitz chess well. Or bullet. And I don't play it. I don't want to play it. It's no fun. And I don't learn anything. Even if it was fun for me, what am I learning? Blah. Okay. Gonna stop this one. I'll get another one.